Today we're going to look at dividing a quantity in a given ratio. Ratios are related to fractions. And they're related to fractions because they show the number of parts that are involved in a whole. So if we've got the ratio of cordial to water, say it's 1 to 4, 1 is to 4, we have 5 parts in total. And that tells us, because we've got 5 parts in total, one of those 5 parts is cordial and 4 of those 5 parts is water. So out of the total number of parts, 1 is cordial, 1/5. 1/5 is cordial. Out of the total number of parts of 5 parts of water in total, 4 parts are water, 4/5. So 1/5 of the cordial is going to be water, and 4/5 of the cordial, 1/5 of the mixture is going to be cordial, and 4/5 of the mixture is going to be water. So this lets us know that if we've got 500 millilitres of drink, 100 of those millilitres will be cordial, and 400 millilitres of that drink will be water. So we can use the unitary method to divide a quantity in a given ratio. And the unitary method is where we break it down to a small part, a unit, and then build it back up to the number of parts that we need. And this is a great method to use for ratios. So the first step we need to do to use the unitary method is to find the total number of parts. In the case here, the total number of parts is going to be 5. Then we need to find the value of one part based on what we're told in the problem. And then we multiply by how many parts we need. So we need to multiply to find the value of the number of parts that is required by the question. So we've got 3 examples here. First 2 are just dividing a quantity in a given ratio, and the last one here is a little bit trickier. We're given one part of the ratio and we need to find the total number of parts here. So for the first problem, dividing 54 metres in the ratio 4 is to 5, we've got 9 parts in total. 4 plus 5 is 9 parts in total. And that 9 parts, that's the total amount of length. So 9 parts is 54 metres. If we divide both of those numbers by 9, 9 divided by 9 is going to be 1 part. So 1 part is going to be 6 metres. Then we can just multiply by the values that we need. We need 4 parts for one side of our ratio, and 5 parts for the other. So 6 times 4 is going to be 24 for the 4 parts, and 6 times 5 is going to be 30 metres for the 5 parts. So 54 metres divided into a ratio of 4 is to 5 is going to be 24 metres to 30 metres. And you can see, adding those both together, 24 plus 30 is 54 metres, the total that we started with. So we know that we've got the answer right. We can check it that way by adding the 2 ratios together and see if that's the amount that we started with. So for our second question, we've got $300 and we divide it into a ratio of 2 is to 1 is to 3. So we've got 3 different separations that we need to do, but for this problem, we've got 2 plus 1 plus 3, which is 6 parts in total. So we've got 6 parts in total. That 6 parts is going to be $300. 6 parts is $300. So if we divide both of these by 6, that will become 1 part. 6 parts divided by 6 is going to be 1 part we're going to be left with. And 300 divided by 6 is going to be $50. So 1 part is going to be $50. And we can find how much 2 parts is worth by multiplying by 2. If we multiply the 1 part by 2, we've got 2 parts. And $50 times 2 is going to be $100. So 2 parts, the 2 parts for our problem is going to be $100. Now, if we've got 1 part and we want 3 parts, we can multiply by 3. Multiplying by 3 means that 3 parts is going to be $150, multiplying by 3 there. So that means that $300 divided into the ratio of 2 is to 1 is to 3 is going to be, well, our 2 parts is $100, 2 parts is $100, 1 part is $50 there, 1 part is $50, and 3 parts is $150. So we've got 3 parts being $150 there. So we've got $100 is to $50 is to $150. That's that amount divided in that ratio, $300 divided in that ratio. If we add the amounts up, 100 plus 50 plus $150 is $300, the amount that we started with. So we know that we must have done it right. Our last problem here, we've got looking at the number of students at Birdsville College. We've got 5 parts in total because the ratio of boys to girls is 2:3, and we know that the number of boys is 246. So because the ratio of boys to girls is 2:3, that means we've got 2 parts. 2 parts in our problem is boys. And we've got 5 parts in total because there's 2 plus 3 parts is 5 parts. So number of boys is 2 parts, 246. So because 2 parts is 246, we can divide it by 2, divide this by 2, the number of parts and also the number of students, and that means that 1 part is going to be 123. We need to know the total number of students, so we need to know how much 5 parts is worth. So multiplying both of those by 5, we get 1 part becomes 5 parts, and 123 becomes 615 students. So therefore, 615 students attend Birdsville College.